Hello guys, welcome again. And in today's video I'm going to take you through all the steps that are needed in filling the form for the green card lottery. This is a diversity visa program that is offered by the US states for people to win the green card all over the world. So I'm going to take you through the steps on how to fill the form successful and increase your chances of winning. So first I'm going to open my favorite browser, which is Chrome, and then type oh, diversity visa program. So once you click enter, it's going to open a link, the first link, which is https://dvprogram.state.government. So open that link. It's going to load, and eventually it will open a welcome page which contains instruction for the DV Rotary for that particular year. Those are the instructions at this link. These contain the instructions that are required to be adhered to for that particular year. So when you click that link, it's going to open a new page that contains the instruction, and even you can go ahead and download the PDF that contains all the instructions that are needed. So we are going to go ahead. Also, it contains a link of examples of the photos, passport photos that are required to be used in this application. So I'm going to click this link, begin entry, where we are going to fill the form that is necessary or needed in the application. So I'm going to enter these characters in this form to confirm that I am human, or I am a human being, yet to confirm that I'm not a machine or a robot. 9DY, and then click submit. Sorry, let me repeat. Capital EYPPX3S, and then submit. Once you are submitted successful, it will open out the form which you are needed to fill, and I'm going to take you through this form for you to know what you are required to do. So the first part is asking you for your name. So people normally have 2 names, 3 names, and even more, but for this case they only need 3 names. So your family name, which is your last name, and then your first name, and then your middle name. For in my case, I'm going to enter Sese. That's the family name, and then the first name, Jared, and then the last name, Mose. I'm done on the first part. In case sometimes you don't have your first name, you just click this button that is down here. In case you don't have your middle name, you also do the same by clicking this button down here. So but in my case, I already have my middle name, so I'm going to type the middle name. Next is your gender. So you have to select between these two. Maybe you are male or you are female. You will select one. So in my case, I am a male, so that's my gender. I continue to the third question. Date of birth. It start by asking your month of birth, day, and then the year. And then what you need to be very careful is that when you are filling this part, you must enter 2 digits or 2 values for month and day. That is, let's say I'm born in January, so instead of entering 1, you are supposed to enter 01. You are born day 8, you are supposed to enter 08, and then the year, let's say 1990, and then the day 08. So this is how you are supposed to fill that form, that part. You proceed to the city where you are born. So in case you are not born in a city, maybe you are born in a town, you are supposed to click this part here, since in this part they're asking a city. So maybe you are born, for example, you are born in Kisii. In this part, actually, this is the fourth question, where you are required to fill the city where you are born. So in this part, most of people fill this part incorrectly, due to the fact that some people don't know, maybe they are coming from the city or a town. So for example, if you are not coming, like Nairobi is a city, so if you are born in Nairobi, you are supposed to fill here Nairobi. But if you are coming from a town, for example Kisii town, you are supposed to click this part to indicate that that's not a city. Instead, you are born in another city that is actually not a city. The fifth question is where you are supposed to fill the country where you are born. The country where you are born. So you just click that part, and then you select the country at which where you are born, and then you fill the part. So for example, in my case, I'm going to fill Kenya. I will look for Kenya where it is. Kenya is here, and then I fill it. So I'm done with that part. And then the sixth question is actually related to the fifth question. So country of eligibility for the DV program. So the country of eligibility will normally be the same as the country of your birth in most cases. But in case you are in another country where you want to claim the eligibility for the DV program, you will have to click no, and then you select that country where you are. But for in my case, normally I'm in the same country, Kenya, so I'm going to leave it. I'm claiming this eligibility from K, which is also my place of birth. So be very careful on this part, through this they are related. The seventh questions is where you are supposed to upload a photo, a very good photo for the application, a photo that meets all the requirements that were in this instruction, the previous instruction. So you have to follow that, like in this PDF we downloaded, we can see these are the instructions that are required, or the requirements for the photo that is to be used in this application. So once you have that photo ready, you are going to click here, and then you select that particular photo, and then it will appear down here. I have selected this just for sample, and then you proceed. So this is not the photo I'm going to use, but I have used this one as an example. Next is a mailing address. Mailing address is more important also when filling out this part. So you have to specify the address that is to be used, most likely to an address to your home, an address to your church, So in this case, like here, I'm going in care of the first question. In care of, I'm going to choose, actually I can choose in care of a church, a school. So it doesn't matter. For in my case, I'm going to choose my nearby school, which is Kiareni Primary School, and I'm done on that part. I'm going to enter the address. For in my case is 569, uh, address line 2, that's optional. And then city old town, actually this school is located in Kisii. So this Kisii is a town, is not a city, so I'm going to fill Kisii. And then I come from Nyanza province, and then my postal code is 40200. And then you submit the form. Once you do that, you are going to be given a form which you are supposed to fill and then eventually submit. So I'm going to take you through step by step on how to fill the form and then eventually submit. So the first part is asking you to enter your name, that is which contains your family name, your first name, and then your middle name. So most of the people have two names, and some even have three. So you're going to start by your family name, and you enter your family name here, which is normally your last name, and then your middle name, and then your last name. But in case you don't have your first name, you're going to click this button down here, and then to show that you don't have your first name or your middle name in that case. So but in my case, I do have my last name, which is Sese, and then my first name Jared, and then my middle name, which is Kero. So doing that, you have already completed the first part. So we'll continue to the second part, where it will ask you about your gender. So you have to choose between either if you are male or you are female. So in my case, I'm going to choose male. The third question is actually about the date of birth. So here you are going to be very careful when filling out this part. So in case you are born date 1, the second month, maybe 1990, so you are supposed to fill two figures at a time. So in case you are born date 1, and on January, which is 1, you are not supposed to write 1 this way, but you are supposed to fill 01, so that they are in two figures. And then if you are born in day 8, you are not supposed to write 8 only, you are supposed to write 08. And then the year, it must contain 4 characters. So let's say 1990 or 2000, whichever. The main thing, the characters should be 4 in the year part. So in my case, I'm going to fill day 11, the day I was born, and then the month of 05 1998. The fourth question is the city where you are born. Normally here you are supposed to write the name of the city where you are born, but in case you are not born in a city, you are supposed to click birth city unknown, this button down here. But in case the city is known, you just write here. In my case, I was born in Kisii, where Kisii is not a town. Kisii is a city. Kisii is not a city. but is a town. So I'm supposed to click this button before I proceed. The fifth question is the country where you are born. So here you have to select the country where you are born, and it has a lot of choices. So you are going to select that country where you are born. In my case, I was born in Kenya, so I'm going to fill from Kenya. The sixth question, it asks you, actually it's related to questions 5. So it asks you the country of eligibility for the DV program. So mostly the country of eligibility is the place actually where you are born. But in case you want to change the eligibility of the country, you just click no, and then you select the country which you want to claim the eligibility for the program. So in my case, I would like to have eligibility from Kenya where I was born. So I'm going to leave it yes, and then I proceed to the next part. The next question is actually the photograph, the passport photograph that we are supposed to upload, and then it must be very clear, and then it must meet the requirements that are actually shown here. For example, here when you click this link, it will open you some sample of photos that are actually acceptable. Like these ones, they are very good and they are accepted in the applications. But like this one is will not be accepted because it's very dark. And then this one, somebody edited it to a blue background, which is not required. And then the background of the picture actually should be very pure white. It should not have any marks at the back. It should be blank white. And then this one, there is a shadow behind, therefore it will not be accepted. The photo must be very clear according to the instructions that we are given in this PDF. So the next part, okay, for this case I'm going to upload just any photo just to continue. And let me select even this one. Yeah, once you upload, that photo will appear down here as shown in this one. But I'm not going to use this one, as if I have just used it for example. The question 8 actually asks about a mailing address, and in this case here you are supposed to be fill this part very careful so that you may not feel something that will affect you later. So the mailing address, the first part is in care of. Mostly in this part you are supposed to answer in relation to school, church, and any other organization that is within your area. So mostly, like in my case, my address is actually nearby a nearby school. So I'm going to fill the name of my nearby school, which will be in care of that particular address. I'm going to enter down there, Kiareni Primary. Yeah, it's a school, not a church. So I'm going to enter the address of that particular school, and then the city in which that address is. So but in my case, this address is located in a town, not a city. Therefore I'm going to enter the name of that town, which is Kisii, and then the region of this town is Nyanza, and then my postal code is 4200. So my country is Kenya, and by filling that I'll be done on that particular part. The ninth question is actually the country where you live today. some people, some of the people may have migrated or gone outside of their country. So depending on that particular time when you're applying, you are supposed to fill the country in which you are living. So in my case, I'm still in Kenya, so I'm going to look for Kenya and then fill that part, and then I'll be done on question 9. So the 10th question is about your phone number. Actually it's optional, so it's upon you to decide whether to enter or to leave it blank. But in case you want to enter, you must be very careful. You must start with the country code. uh, for example, in Kenya, our country code is actually 254, so you must start with that one before you enter your number. So this one is very important depending on the country you come from. The 11th question is your email, and this is very critical, since when you win the green card, this is actually the email they are going to use to contact you. So when you are when you are filling this part, you must be very keen to fill your correct email. So in my case, I'm going to use this one. Yeah, I'm going to use this email, and then the second part you are asked to confirm that particular email you entered. So I'm going to also to enter again. To confirm the email. And then after you are done with that 11th question. So you move to the next question, where is about your highest level of education. And for you to apply this green card, you must have a high school level of education before applying. So depending on the level you have reached in your education, you are supposed to select from these choices, and then you move on. So in my case, I'm going to choose a high school level, which is actually the minimum which is required for you in applying. And it doesn't affect actually your application, whether you have a master's, a doctorate degree. It doesn't affect, since I have actually seen some people who just finished a high school level. Majority of them actually who wins. So that means that the level at which you have reached in your education, it doesn't affect anything in your selection or in your winning. The 11th question is actually asking for you for your marital status. Yeah. And in this case, you must be very careful when you are answering this question. So for in case you are single, just you are supposed to take this one unmarried. But in case you are married and my spouse is not a US citizen, you are supposed to click here. And the reason I said that you should be very careful here is that when you are filling this part, in case you show that you are married, at the end of the day you are supposed to have some certificates or documents showing that actually you are married. So in case you don't know what to answer, just the best choice you should go with is being unmarried, since this is the actually only choice that it doesn't require you to have many documents or certificates. But in case you choose any of the remaining other, then you should have a document or certificate ready to show that you actually at one time you are married, or you are still married at that particular time. The last question is actually the number of children that you have. The number of children that you have. Those includes actually the children that you have adopted, your stepchildren, and actually your biological children also. So the total number you are supposed to fill here. So, but in my case, um, I, but in my and also this question actually relates to the previous question. You cannot say that you are unmarried and then maybe you are married. Mostly these two questions actually are related, and then you must be very careful with them. So the number of children that you have, the children you who are your biological children, and also the children who you have adopted, the total number you enter here. But in my case, I'm going to enter 0 because I have not been married yet to have children. You click continue. No thanks. Sorry, there is an error that occurred somewhere. Oh, it occurred on the photo. So the photo must be very. You must look at the photo and ensure that the photo is very good before you proceed. I'm going to change the photo and then I submit the form. Otherwise, that's how you should fill that form, and then you submit by clicking this button. Thank you. See you again.